installing a cheap Android head unit I bought off of Amazon in a 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. So I have it here and I'll be using it because it comes with the rear view camera, and you know that for German cars the rear view camera needs a filter. So this is the filter I got off of Amazon, about $5. It's not expensive, so I'll leave a link in the description. And then the head unit itself, I got it, it was on sale, so I bought it for I think about $120, and it comes with all the accessories that are needed. This is for the camera unit. The camera is inside here. We'll get to the camera installation later. And these are the harnesses, including the CAN bus. They are all in here. Installation guide, we have that also here. And then the unit itself, you can see it has a very small profile. It's quite minimal. I kind of like that it's very minimal, and all the harnesses come together with it. Now, to do this installation, the basic tools that I'm going to use are a T20, Torx T20, to remove the head unit there. But to be able to access it, you need prying tool. If you don't have some, you can gently use a flathead screwdriver. I had one, a very small one like this, to kind of pry the edges that off. So that's what we're going to do. We'll first remove this housing, and then we can access the screws in there and remove the existing radio head unit. Now, like I said, this comes with the CAN bus, which would help with the steering wheel controls and all of that. So this is just the installation video. I would do the review later. I also did an installation of Ionon Android head unit. That's a lot more expensive, almost $300. And so I would compare this this new one here to that Ionon and see which one is better. Yeah, so let's get right into it. It's pretty easy. And then you have to remove the airbag socket down here for the airbag light. So once this is gone, now we can have access to the radio itself. And so your T20 will just get in there and then pull those off. There are just 4 screws holding it, so it's a pretty easy install, something you can easily do on your own at home. You don't need anyone to do it for you. If it's just left with the head unit alone, you don't need up to an hour to install it, even as a novice, because it's pretty straightforward. And so here we have our head unit. Oh, there it is. It's big. And so once you have it here, now you may not be able to see this, but there is a tab down here for the radio. So you just pull on that and you can remove the radio connector. there. And then to remove the main harness, you have to also hold this, there is a tab here, you have to pull that and then it slides right off. So this comes out neatly. And so what we have to do now is to get everything that is supposed to go to the back of this new head unit, the harnesses. So you see that they put two different harnesses in there. That's because people's cars, different cars have different connectors, and so for this Jetta, the connector would be this big one here, this one. So it's as easy as just snapping that into that. But before I get into doing any of that, let me first make sure that I'm connecting the things that need to be connected. So this part right here goes into this. Now once you have the click sound, so this is the GPS, and we need to screw that on here. So you go ahead and screw it in here. That's the GPS. Right. Oh, nice. And then the CAN bus. Yes. This CAN bus, I suppose, yes, plugs into this. So the CAN bus here would plug in here. So we have our CAN bus in, and then we have two USB receivers. Both of them will go to the back of the head unit here. So this would go here. Okay, fits. And then this one is right next to it. Those are the smallest sockets in there. We would use one for Android Auto, and the other we'll try and route it into the glove box. And then we have this for the rear view camera, this one right here. Okay, so that also has its own connection up here, nicely done. And then this one, you don't need to install this one, mostly for speakers, but they're already in the main harness. This will be video out, sub out, audio, CVBS, video in, auxiliary in, left and right, and then microphone. But it also has an inbuilt microphone here. I would want to test it first. And then our radio here, the antenna also goes in here, and it will plug. Yes, I need dual to single antenna, which I didn't buy, but I guess I'll just use one of them because I'm not so fond of radios anyways. But there are those dual to single antennas on Amazon. I'll look for one and put a link in the description. Let's first test this and make sure it's working. So simple thing would be just to plug this in. Okay. So once we plugged it in, you see Android is booting up. Okay. Okay. So there you have it. So we know it's working. Let's now see. Okay, there's no media file. Let's go back. FM. As you can hear the sound, it's working. Let me plug this into one here. So there you have it. It all goes in there like that. Okay, so it's connected to my home Wi-Fi, which is pretty great. And so let's see if there will be any form of update or something. But I must say that for literally $100 head unit, I'm pretty impressed. Let's see, it's running on Android 11. Oh, so it comes with the ear maps pre-installed. So after installing, I noticed that it would still be on even when the key is taken out, and we don't want that to happen, because when that happens it will drain the battery. And so what I found out was behind that, the connectors, you would see this black thing here. This black thing, it's like a socket, and it needs to be detached. So when you hold that and disconnect that, then the screen goes off. But it doesn't only go off, it comes on when you put in the key, and then when you turn it off and pull out the key, it goes off. And that is what we want to happen. Typically, some people would recommend bringing it out and letting it sit out somewhere, but I don't do that. I usually let it find a spot for it inside here. It has this sticker that I can typically put anywhere. And I mean, if you're going to be using Android Auto, then this GPS isn't much of a concern, because most of the time it would pick from your phone, Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. And this has Android Auto wired, and CarPlay CarPlay is wireless and both wired as well. But I have a Samsung, so I would have to use the wired Android Auto. So let me find a nice place to place this GPS, which I would probably not use, because it comes with the ear maps, and we all know how that is. it needs internet connection. So if I can just use my Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, why not? Right. So I'll tuck this in somewhere here. Not too down. Yeah, it has to be as flat as possible. So I'll stick that to the surface over here. Yep. Nice and neat. And so yeah, you have everything inside. Yeah, so what is left is the installation of the rear view camera, which I will do in another video because I don't want this to be too long. So let this be all about the installation of the head unit. I'll just do that because the camera also takes quite a process, especially with the routing of the cable all the way to the trunk. I think that will be the most difficult part, and then we just install the camera at the back, and so we'll do that in another video. Okay, so I managed to get this down here and into this spot, and I had to remove these by opening this. I'm just putting them back. That's the climate control unit. I had to just remove it and pass the cable for the Android Auto beneath that, so it's right here, nice and clean, which is great. I sent this one down here for Android Auto. Unfortunately, it can only be Type A, so I have to get a Type A cable, which is not a problem. It would have been nice if it was Type C, but this is $100 unit, so that's fine. Like, it's perfectly okay. So it's just Android Auto. And then the other USB, I also managed to get it inside the glove box here. So there it is. I did not destroy anything. I had to remove the screws here. That's also Torx 20. So there are 1, 2, 3. Then there's one at the side. Brought it lower and then forced it through the opening here. So nice and neat, without having to cut anything. It's all there intact. This is also here. So what is left is to cover things up.